This is my mom, guys. Tricia Gambertoglio. I feel like I'm more nervous to do an episode with you than anybody because I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going to come up? But I did do your makeup.
I'm a little nervous too, actually.
Now, introducing Full Out with Brittany Ross.
You're a little nervous?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I can tell. I did do your makeup for this.
I know. I was so excited because no one ever does my hair and makeup. So I'm like, yes, makeup.
Girls love makeup no matter how old they are.
I know. Especially when someone else does it for them.
I know. I'm teaching Penelope how to do her makeup really well so that she'll be able to do mine really well. And yours. Yeah, she's going to be like our makeup artist. Marco's like, I hate the makeup. And I'm like, we don't. But my mom is in town. You live in Texas.
I do.
And I asked you to do the podcast. I was like, oh, you're in town. We have you booked to do the podcast on Tuesday. Will you do it? So when I asked you.
As long as you do my makeup.
But when I asked you to do it, how did you feel?
I felt, sure, I'll do it. I just thought, what is she going to ask me?
Hold it a little closer.
Okay.
Like lean it towards you.
Like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, we can just talk, and then I want to ask you about your life, and then
Scary.
and then and then I want to hear your full out story. I mean, have you listened to the podcast?
I have listened to the podcast.
Kidding,
I haven't
I
thought about what is my full out story.
Well, I think we want to talk to you about being a mom, like your full out, how you've gone full out as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like you're the youngest of 6 kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's a interesting experience to be the youngest and the baby.
Yeah, the baby's great because at the end I got to live 3 years alone, older. And everybody else was gone with my parents, and it was calm and nice and, not a lot of chaos. And I like that. My brother Fred was the oldest, so he got to be alone for a little bit, but he was just a little bitty child. And,
yes, he doesn't remember it.
So, yeah, I'm got called spoiled rotten and, relatively to some of them maybe, but not relative to the world.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the youngest of 6, it's hard to be spoiled rotten. I feel like there's a lot.
Well,
of
and then when
people.
5 leave, your parents have more. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
and then I feel like it's cool to talk about the fact that you were born 3 months early.
Yeah, I was born almost 3 months early, and I guess I was in an incubator for a couple of months. And then as a baby, my mom had to feed me every couple of hours because newborn or preemies will just sleep themselves to death. But I didn't want to wake up, but she would have to tickle my toes, and then she'd have to get up with 5 other children in the day. So that must have been really tough.
Yeah.
For her.
Also, when grandma had you, because it was back in the day when everybody would drink and stuff and didn't know it was bad.
So my mom was at a party the night before she had me, smoking and drinking and enjoying life. And she started bleeding, so she knew that, she needed to go to the hospital. And she went in and they said I was thrashing around inside, and they were like, oh, you have a really active baby. And my mom thought, great. But really it was, oh, she's dying.
Oh, my gosh.
The placenta had pulled away. So I couldn't breathe or anything in there. So they had to do an emergency C-section. And they had to call my dad. He was at the airport getting ready to leave town. And they had to call him, page him in the airport to come back to the hospital. And she called her friend in the morning and said, oh, I had a baby girl. And she's like, okay, Patty, call me in the morning, kind of like when you sober up. And
Didn't she say
really?
You're still drunk or
I
something?
Had a
Call me.
Yeah, she thought she was still drunk and just making it up,
That is so crazy.
And, she was like, no, really, I did. And my mom was like, she kind of always wanted to make sure everything was okay with my dad. And the priest came in and said, "Do you want to baptize this baby?" Because they didn't know if I was going to make it or not make it.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom said, I don't know. I need to ask my husband. And my Aunt Kathy happened to be there. And she said, no, this is your time to make a decision.
Yeah.
And stuff. So,
Wow, that's crazy. We can hear my mom okay, right? It's close enough? Okay. I'm just getting nervous that we're missing it all. It's good? Okay. Oh, you're projecting a good amount.
yeah, I think I talk loud. Sometimes I get told, shh.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think you talk loud. I don't think our family talks loud.
Well, that's good to hear because sometimes I'm told, you talk a little loud, Tricia. So,
Only when you're on the phone.
okay.
When you're on the phone and you're staying at our house, like the guest room is downstairs. And I'll be like, but the baby's room is right above the guest room. And I just am like, oh my God, I can't hear what you're saying, but I just hear you being like, and I know you talk like that to me when you're on the phone talking to me too, but people tend to talk louder on the phone than they do in person.
Huh. That's interesting.
Marco does it. You do it. Dad definitely does it. And everybody's like always right below Benjamin's room. And I'm like, can't you just talk? The phone can hear you if you talk like this. It's so funny. But I also feel like you like to watch TikTok videos without your headphones in too.
Yeah.
So
and General
sometimes I'm like,
too.
oh, my teenager is watching TikTok videos and keeping my baby awake because
and I'm probably laughing too.
Yeah,
Down
probably.
there laughing.
You are really good at like laughing out loud at things.
Yeah.
You don't hold back your laughter. It takes a lot for me to laugh out loud at something. You start laughing and like you have one of those like laughs where you get in like a giggle fit of laughter and like overcome by it.
Yeah. And then if you say anything, I just laugh more. And then I start laughing quietly. And sometimes the tears start coming because I can't quit laughing.
Yeah, I know. And then it makes everybody else start laughing. I remember so many times in the car, like all of us just dying laughing because you couldn't stop laughing about something so dumb. So dumb that we were all like, what? And then you're just like crying, laughing. And it's like, you can't help but laugh when it's not a bad thing at all.
No.
It's a good thing.
And sometimes everyone stops, but then I start thinking about it in my head and it makes me start laughing again so hard. I
also feel like you love laughing at America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like...
Well, TikTok has some of those now, like pretty funny videos.
Your TikTok algorithm is just like America's Funniest Home Videos of people like getting hit or falling or getting hurt. I also think that's the only thing that makes me laugh out loud. And Marco does not like people getting hurt or getting hit or falling. And I feel like because of cheerleading and gymnastics and stuff, like it just is, people get hurt and they fall and like, I don't know, we would just laugh at it when people would like, we just laugh.
And
it's
then
a weird
you
reaction.
think, why am I laughing? This really isn't funny, but it is kind of funny.
Do you remember, were you at this competition with us when that girl's teeth got knocked out and like flew across the mat and then she finished the routine? She was like, had her head up. She was like bleeding, but her teeth, you could see on the replay, like her teeth, like two of her teeth like flying across. I'm like, if you can't laugh at that, then
like,
yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I remember the cheer.
Go into a little bit more of like the origin story.
back. Yeah, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to you. Your story. So but you were born in Texas. You were the youngest. You were born
I was born in Oklahoma.
In Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
And you were the youngest of 6. Right. And then you moved to Houston pretty young.
Moved to Houston. I moved to Texas when I was 2. We moved back and forth from Houston to Beaumont, back to Houston.
Right.
And Houston fully when I was 4.
Okay.
And then I lived there till I was 22. And I married your dad on a Saturday and moved to Alaska on Monday.
But you went to Austin for college.
I did.
So you were in Texas.
Yeah. I went to University of Texas for
and
a couple
you
of years.
Met dad at University of Texas and then got married and moved to Alaska 2 days later.
That was shocking.
Yeah. And until very recently, I thought you had never been to Alaska before you moved there, but you went once to visit it.
Well, your dad and I were supposed to get married, and then I broke up with him before we got married, and he quit his job and moved back to Alaska because he wanted to live in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to visit him in Alaska in this little interim time, and then we chose to get married while I was in Alaska. So that's the only time I had been to Alaska.
Was
in
for
the
your
summer,
engagement, summer engagement.
Whether or not I was going to be engaged or not again. Yeah, that was. And then I was told I'd live there 2 years. And I remember thinking, okay, I can do 2 years. And then 5 years later, I'm like, no, I can't do this anymore. I've got to go.
But you also moved there and then 2 years later had me, right? After you lived there for 2 years.
Yes.
And then a year later had another baby in the freezing cold. But when you moved there, you were still in college, right?
Yes. I quit college when I moved there, and then I started college in Alaska. And then I thought, I hate going to college in this cold weather. I just can't do this anymore. So I quit college.
Okay.
And then I started working at a preschool and stuff in a Montessori school before I had you. And then I had you. But, truly my dream in life was to be a mom and a wife. And and I got that. I just didn't know it'd be in Alaska.
Yeah, in the cold.
Yeah, in the cold. And it was a lot. It was a whole lot.
To bundle up 2 babies.
Because as soon as you get them bundled up to go, someone has a dirty diaper or something, and now you're unbundling and bundling back up again, and it's a lot.
It's like you might as well not even go.
Yeah.
And I feel like
you have to go, because otherwise you're going to go crazy. You can't just stay in your house.
Yeah.
In Alaska. You have to find things. You have to find things to do, even if it's like walking in the mall. You just got to get out of your house.
Yeah, that's where Benjamin is right now, walking in the mall. I feel like Benjamin's always walking in the mall with the nanny. He's walking in the mall because it's been raining so much. But yeah, it's like you got to go to the mall. You got to walk around the mall.
One time I went to the mall with you and Chelsea, and it was like 40 below for 2 weeks. And we had blankets on the inside of the windows because the heat couldn't keep the house warm enough. And you guys would wear your snow boots in the house. And the ice would be kind of still on the inside of your windows. But you have to go. You're going to go crazy. So I took you guys to the mall to go to story time. And I forgot my gloves. And strollers back then had metal things. So just from walking you guys in, my fingers were starting to get frostbite. So I had to buy gloves before I
What does that even look like? They were turning black?
They get really, really red, and then they start to turn blue a little, but you can feel them. I mean, they burn. Your hand burns. And you just run in, and it's just from the parking lot into the mall. It's just, and they kind of stick to the metal.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And it's like, what do? You have 2 babies. You have to keep going.
They're
you can't
bundled. You
go
just
back.
Go.
Yeah.
You're
you can't
already
leave
out.
them in the car
gotta,
and run upstairs to the house. Oh my gosh. I know. I feel like we took Penelope to Switzerland to visit Marco's family when she was 1, I think, in the winter. It was during COVID. She wasn't 1 yet. She was almost 1. And I was like, whoa, anybody who lives in a cold weather climate with a baby, it's like a totally different experience.
Right.
It's like, and I just kept thinking and my mom had 2 of us.
Yeah.
And you were like doing it alone because my dad was always like gone working somewhere and you were doing it alone. And my sister and we're only 15 months apart. It's like I was 6 months old when you got pregnant. That's
Surprise.
also something you don't realize how dramatic that is until you have your own kids. And then you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Like, this is really too close in age.
And when you come from Texas, you just walk outside without shoes on your baby. They don't have to have shoes on or socks or whatever. You just go. And here it's like, no, you have to have everything plus on your baby, both babies.
And then on yourself.
And then when you get into like go grocery shopping, you have to take the clothes off the baby because they get too hot on the inside. And then you got to rebundle them before you go back just from grocery shopping. So it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And then being the youngest of 6, I was actually the first one to leave where everybody lived.
So
that was really tough too. My first Christmas Eve used to be spent with all my siblings and their families because they had families at this time, but I didn't get to do that the first year, so it was hard.
Yeah, it's like you're alone for the first time.
And you couldn't call people like you could now.
Yeah.
Because it cost. Every call is
oh my gosh.
Cost you.
Ugh.
So that was a lot.
I would have lost my mind. I feel like
I kind of did.
Yeah, I know you did. You said you had to leave, right?
I
told
told
Dad,
your dad, I have to go. You can stay if you want, but I got to go. Because mentally I had to go.
It was like taking a toll on you. You had like a light box and stuff?
No.
Like,
No, I did not.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I don't even think those were a thing.
Oh, really?
Back then.
Because it's just dark all the time.
Yeah, in the winter, it's just like the lightest day gets light at like 10 a.m. and dark by 3. So when I did work before you guys, sometimes I'd be at work and I got off at 6 and I think, oh, I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go to the mall and stuff. And then 6 o'clock came. It's been dark for 3 hours. And I think I got to go home. I can't go to the mall. It messes with your brain.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, it just kind of gets dusk. It depends if it's raining or not raining, how dark it gets. And that messes with your brain too. Because little children don't want to go to bed either till late because it doesn't feel like bedtime.
Yeah. It's like now as an adult, it's fun to go in the summer for a vacation because you don't really get tired and you're like on a bike ride at 10 p.m. Or I've like landed in Alaska at 11 and been like wearing my sunglasses. And it's like fun because you're...
Yeah, and you have this energy.
You do get like another boost of energy and you feel awake and like alive and you feel like you can go out and do all this stuff. But that's as an adult. But when you're there with like your kids who need to sleep and you also want them to sleep because you want some time to yourself. And you're like, could you just go to sleep? Because
you need them to
sleep. Yeah, you used to put foil over our windows and stuff, right?
Because they didn't have blackout shades back then. So we just put foil on it. And, I don't know if it was you guys or other kids that come in and say, is it morning? Because they don't know, can I wake up? Can I not wake up? I don't really know what time it is. And you're like, you have to look. I don't know what time
I have no idea. Yeah. I went there one time in the winter as an adult. Remember, I went to visit Dad because my dad moved back there when I moved to LA. And I went to visit him for New Year's. I thought and I had this plan of I'm going to ski every day. I'm going for a week and we're going to ski every day. It was minus 15, I think, the whole time I was there. And then and it was so dark. And I was so bored out of my mind that I remember he had an atlas book in the guest room or something that I started I was I'm just gonna learn a bunch of stuff, and I started reading this encyclopedia or atlas, and I was I guess I'll just learn a bunch of stuff on this trip, and because I couldn't just do nothing. And then luckily my childhood, that we had a friend who was born this right at the same time as me, named Whitney.
A little bit older,
a few
couple
months, right? So it was Whitney and Brittany. She got into town, and her parents lived up the street. So I went over to her house and learned how to make aprons. We like sewed aprons on like my ski trip. And I had like a little cute like kitchen apron that I came back with. And then my dad and I decided to go skiing the last day. He's like, it's -1 today. Do you want to try? I wore so much stuff. Like I look like someone from Star Wars in the photos of me. And we would go do a run, go inside, do a run, go inside. We did maybe 3 runs, and it's dark. It's also that you're skiing in like the lights because it's 3 p.m. It's like pitch black and it's freezing. And I was like, this is not the ski trip I thought I was going on this winter. I definitely turned out different. So,
well, one time when you guys were like probably 1 and 2 years old, we went to a ski resort and we were going to have dinner, and the waiters took so long. Everything was so long. I was like, I got to go take these girls to bed.
mm-hmm.
So I just took my food home with me. I hadn't eaten. They just boxed it. And I had like seafood linguine.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad likes to keep the car really clean. Like he had detailed it with toothpicks. Like
Oh my
spent
gosh.
hours and hours on it before this trip. And we go on this trip and I take you two home. And as I'm getting my box, I knock it. And all the linguine spills in the dash of the car.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm trying to throw it back in the box, and you guys are in the car and it's freezing, and I can't keep you out here while I clean this up. So I took both of you and put you in the little room in the hotel room or the condo, and I turned on cartoons and the door was locked. So I shut it and I ran outside to try and clean up before it freezes. It'll freeze in the console. And I thought, now I better run in and check on them. Well, the door locked from the outside, but the inside you could turn it and just go out the door. So I found both of you in the hallway screaming, crying for me.
Oh my gosh.
If anyone else had found you, I thought, oh my gosh. So I just had to let the rest of it freeze in the car because I got to take care of the kids.
Which I feel like you should have just been able to do anyways. And it'd been like, that's okay. You had your hands full.
Yeah.
Clean the car up
Right.
later. Yeah. Oh, that's so sad.
So that was a mess. I mean, what of all things, seafood linguine? It's just like creamy gunk all in your
frozen to the car after. And that's so funny. It's
where
like
all your utensils are in the middle of the car.
oh my gosh. And then when you were like, I have to go, what was your breaking point that was like, I have to go?
Well, I'd been told 2 years. It'd been 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I can't live here anymore. Mentally, I couldn't live there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It was really difficult on your mental self,
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking I'd go back to Texas, but your dad told the company we got to move out of Alaska. And so they sent us to Scotland, which was great. I mean, it was still cold and everything, but for me, it was much better than Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And your
It's a
dad's
different
boss said, like, you're the first people that got off the plane and said, oh, it's warm here. It's
because
nice
it's
here.
so like dreary and rainy.
It's still cold and
cold,
dreary and rainy, but I lived in dreary and rainy and it was warmer than Alaska.
Yeah.
So, and I
do you
had a lot of
remember
friends there
saying you had to leave?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You remember? Was it like scary to be like, okay, I need to like decide to.
It was scary because I knew that your dad might not want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I going to do if he doesn't leave? Because I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have opened my own daycare and taken care of you guys. But
Mm-hmm.
it was truly, I could not stay in Alaska anymore.
It was like killing you.
I tried for a little while. We got a bigger home and I thought, okay, well, this'll, and we had a nice summer, which we hadn't had, and it's hit or miss. And
Mm-hmm.
it was the nicest summer we had. And so I thought, okay. And I didn't even want to sign a 6-month lease. And I ended up signing a 2-year lease.
Wow.
And then I realized that a big old house doesn't really make you happy. And
Mm-hmm.
it's still Alaska. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think we were there almost a year. We didn't stay
Mm-hmm.
the whole 2-year contract. And I said, I can't.
You have to go.
I got to go.
And then we went to Scotland.
And then we went to Scotland.
And
Lived
that
there
was
for
fun.
2 years. That was fun. I liked Scotland.
Yeah. We had like neighbor friends, and
Yeah.
my sister and I had Scottish accents.
Yeah.
Because I was 3 when we moved there, and she was 2. So
And
she
she's
really
almost 2
started
and you
like
are
speaking.
Just
with-
3.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we had like little, I liked it there.
Yeah. You had some really,
Yeah.
across the street were 2 little girls that you guys played with the second you got there for the 2 years.
Yeah.
And the mom became my best friend, and
Yeah.
it was really nice. And I remember we have a video of you hunting for Easter eggs and saying to me, Mommy, there's a little slugger on yours.
Yeah. I called you Mummy. Mummy.
Mommy.
Chelsea has a little slugger on hers. And like we have these tiny little accents, which is so
It was so
cute and funny.
But I have to say, Mommy is worse than Mom when a child's whining.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, Mommy. It's just like,
You're just like, oh my gosh, just like nails on a chalkboard.
don't call me Mommy.
That's so funny. So funny. And then we moved to Houston. We thought we were like moving to Houston for real
Yeah.
to live there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we went earlier than my dad. right?
Well, well, my friends in Scotland all threw me a party because I was leaving. And we left earlier than your dad because we were going to go to a wedding and do some stuff. And then he was going to come on. And so we came back and we spent time then at my parents' house for weeks. And then your dad said, oh, the company needs me to stay longer. So we went back to Scotland.
Oh.
And so I'm like, hi, I'm back. Thanks for the party you gave me.
Oh my gosh.
And we stayed, I don't know if it was just a couple of months, I can't remember. And then we moved, and I did think we got a really nice house that I loved. And I thought we were there for ever or years or whatever. And then within less than a year, your dad got an offer to go to Colombia, Bogota, Colombia. And I told him, look, I have to have the summer in Houston. So you can go, I'll move, but I have to live the summer here. So we stayed for about 3 months or so longer than your dad. And your dad went down to start working in Colombia, and you and Chelsea and I stayed and swam, and
Yeah, lived in the
that
house.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember Dad being at any of these places. So like I remember living in these places alone. But you were starting I remember you were starting a preschool in the garage. And
Yeah,
you turned our
it was.
garage into a preschool.
It was so cute.
It was so cute.
My
And there
mom
was a
told me to take
chalkboard.
pictures, and I never did.
Ugh. Well, I remember it still, even though there's no
Good, it
pictures.
was so cute.
I remember thinking it was so cool at that point in my life to have a chalkboard at our house, like in the garage. I just thought it was so awesome to have a chalkboard. Like I was like, it looks like a school in here, and
It
like
was
to go
such
into
a
your garage,
cute
and it was like
school.
such a cute classroom, and it was cool.
And then it never got to get started.
Yeah, because we had to move. Yeah. I feel like you have things you want to say and you're not saying them, but that's fine. That's fine. I think everybody gets the gist through you don't have to say it out loud. We had to move because
We had to move.
we had to move. I would normally say it, but I feel like after Christmas that we've had, I'm just holding back what I say right now because we've just had a real holiday doozy. So we'll just say that.
We'll
We
just
had
leave
to
it there.
move. We had to move.
We had to go.
We moved to Colombia and we moved to Bogota, Colombia. Also, you were pretty young because you had me when you were 23, 24.
4.
So by
And
this,
we moved when you were 6 to Colombia.
yeah. So you were 30.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We got all of our like old, what is it called? Like video camera footage
Oh, yeah.
digitized. And we all have an app now where we can log in and look at all of our childhood. What do you call it?
Memories.
Not memories. Like, Home videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
all
they
of
are our memories. There are memories on home video, right?
Yeah, we have the app is called iMemories.
They are our memories. And
No, it's called iMemories.
I know, but what we're watching is our memories.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, yeah. So home videos, memories, whatever you want to call it, we have them all digitized.
Right.
And it's been like so funny to watch all of these different like eras of our lives on these home videos, because people used to video differently than they do now.
Yeah.
Where it was like a camera was just kind of in the room. Nobody was like really paying attention to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I try and take like 3 or 4 minute long videos of my kids just like from without them knowing that it's on, just so I can like have videos of them just being
Right.
how they were when they were that age. I try and do like home videos on my phone, because there's something so different about just seeing people be versus being like, hey, I'm like taking a video or I'm taking a
Right.
photo or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
like we do now.
Uh-huh.
But it's so funny to see all these. And we do have some from like Colombia and like Scotland and all this stuff. But there's one video, speaking of me thinking that I was like harping on you to hold your mic closer and then thinking it was maybe me. There is one video that I remember where I was laying in bed watching it, and I just burst out laughing, like crying laughing, because you're so young. I'm probably a baby or something. You're in Oklahoma at my dad's parents' house, and they had a pond where we would all go fishing. You have such a strong Texas accent, and so does Dad. And Dad's trying to teach you how to fish. And he's like, Tricia, no, you got to do it like, like blah, 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 blah. And like, you're not doing it right. So he takes the fishing pole. You take the video camera. He pulls his fishing pole back and you just hear you go, oh, shit. He just rails on you for not knowing how to fish. And then you video him and he hooks you in your leg.
Right.
With the thing. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. This is like their relationship to a T.
And if he did,
just
I did say shit, it had to really hurt because
She doesn't say
don't
that.
normally cuss.
I didn't know that they stocked it with fish until I was an adult. I thought we were just catching fish. And then I found out later that my grandpa had been like, every time we would come, he would fill the pond up with fish so we could all go fishing in the pond, which is so sweet. But like, I just kind of blew my mind to be like, what?
Yeah.
I had no idea. But anyways, that was so funny. Then we moved to Colombia and we lived in Bogota, Colombia in the early 90s.
During Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was scary.
Really scary. Mm-hmm. And I remember I didn't speak like a word of Spanish when we moved there.
No.
And you didn't either, right?
No. I didn't speak any Spanish when we went there. And
Did you know what you were getting yourself into when you moved there? Like, what did
I
you
don't think I
when
knew what I was getting myself into anytime I moved anywhere.
You're like, I'm only 30 at this point and I already have 2 kids and I've been just like whipped around different place.
Just going to figure it out. You know, I had my kids and that's good.
But like, do you remember any thoughts about South America before you went? Were you like, oh, cool? Or were you like, oh?
No, you know, when you move overseas and you're with a big corporation, I would guess all corporations do this, but your dad's corporation, you sit with like the big boss and you talk about it for the husband and the wife. And you make the commitment together that you're going to do this. And you are told what you're going to get when you get there and, you know, how it's going to be. Because they don't want to send you over and you get there the second you're there and you go, no, you know. So I thought I knew what I was getting when I went to Colombia. It didn't really pan out exactly the way I had thought or been told by the big boss, because then there was another boss and he had other ideas and stuff. So that was difficult. And getting down there with the two of you, y'all were really scared about the language.
I do remember being
No,
really
you
scared.
guys would hold my hand in the mall and stuff super tight because I think you just didn't understand because you can't understand anybody. You have no idea what anybody is saying.
Also, I feel like we weren't in places where we were hearing people speak other languages
Right.
ever. So it was like such a
it was a real shock.
of like, whoa, I don't know this language at all, and
But
I've
you
never
picked up
experienced
the language really fast. Chelsea is like, I think Chelsea was mad at the language and thought, I'm not learning this language.
Really? You think so?
Because she didn't care to really learn it or understand it. She went to the American school and she had all the kids spoke English. And but you absorbed all the language. Like she left there knowing, I think, about nothing in Spanish. But you left there knowing almost everything.
Such a
in Spanish.
dig way to say it. She left there knowing about just about nothing.
I think she lives in, she was happy in her own world. And I mean, I know people have said that to me before. I had a professor say, when I came in late, he's like, oh, yeah, there's a girl that just like lives in her own little world. But you can say anything to her and she'll smile. And
oh my gosh.
and I just smiled,
Like, okay.
Yeah. And I think Chelsea was happy and
She was happy.
her world and didn't really care. And she was taken care of, But I think you wanted to know the language. And
I
you've
did
always
not
been
like
that way.
not knowing what was going on. I've always been like, I need to know what's going on around me. And I think I was so scared that I didn't know what was going on around me that I just learned it. Because I think I'm always like, what's happening around me? And when I didn't know, I felt like terrified. So I think I learned it really fast.
You learned the language faster than me, but you wouldn't speak it over there. And so if I didn't understand someone, I would tell them to tell you. And then you would look up at me and say, he said, go down the road over the hill, take a left, and you'd tell me everything. And I'd speak back to them in my broken Spanish.
Yeah, I think I was scared to speak in Spanish too because I didn't want to make a mistake and stuff.
Yeah.
I needed to do it right. So I only would do it if it was like a complete necessity.
Right.
I still do that with French too. It's like if the other person is going to understand English, I'll respond in English. Even if they're going to speak to me in French, I have a really hard time. I just I don't know. It feels like, I don't know.
I worked hard learning Spanish over there. And I had broken Spanish, but people could understand me. But I couldn't have a conversation like we have. But I know that the Colombians really respected that I tried.
Yeah, you used to go to Spanish lessons.
Yeah, I had someone come to the house, which was great.
I remember, I think so the day that I heard that bomb go off at school, so I was walking to the bus and Chelsea went home earlier than me because she was in kindergarten and I stayed the whole day. And we were walking to the bus and this bomb went off and it shook the whole ground. It was so loud and close to, it had to have been close enough to us for it to shake the ground.
Well, you could hear it and you felt it.
Yeah.
So it was close enough. It was still ways away from where you were.
But I still heard it and felt
Right.
it. But then I thought I overheard the teachers talking about
it being on 15th Street, which is where we used to live.
Oh, is that what it was?
But 15th Street was very long. So it didn't happen where we used to live, but it confused you thinking maybe it happened where we lived. And then you didn't know which bus to get on.
Downtown, and I thought you were supposed to be downtown, but didn't you ditch your Spanish lesson or something that day?
It was on 15th Street,
It was on
which
our
was
old
where our
street.
old house was. And so I may have had Spanish that day. Who knows? Because I had Spanish at my house.
And then maybe
so
what I was
that's maybe
thinking,
I got
you were at home
confused.
having a Spanish lesson or something. Yeah.
And then you didn't know what bus to get on, your old bus, your new bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really because you heard our street. And so you didn't know. And I think they took you back in your room and prayed with you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know they took us back in the room, and I remember I was crying and nobody else was. And they kept being like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And, I was like,
What's wrong?
all these other kids were from Colombia and their dad, and I wasn't. And then I remember we started playing hangman on the chalkboard.
Because
And
they
I
had
was
to
like, what's
figure
going
out-
on? Everybody's just playing hangman because they made us wait in the classroom to see if we could leave to go home on the buses.
They didn't know yet everything. They had to
Yeah.
figure all of that out too.
And then I remember being on the bus. I think I was curled up in a ball or something.
I
on the
just know
bus.
you got off crying off of the bus because you were really scared. And yeah, that was scary. And then one day at your school, I don't know if you remember this, but there was an attempted kidnapping
Yeah.
on your floor. The kinder through second grades were on one floor. And this compound school y'all went to, no parents are allowed to drive on campus or anything, and the buses are scanned under for bombs before
Yeah,
they're
because I remember there were mirrors and
allowed.
stuff that go hook
Yeah,
under the bus.
allowed on the property. And so I came to school and I had gotten word from embassy people that I knew, moms, that there had been an attempted kidnapping. No one had told me. I just heard it from the
And when you
the
heard
school
that,
didn't
how did
tell
you?
me.
When you heard that, what did you think?
Well, I went in the office and I said, "Hey, I heard there was an attempted kidnapping." And the office lady's like, "What? What? Huh?" And I said, "I heard there was an attempted kidnapping." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." And I said, "Well, were there guns involved?" And she goes, "This is Colombia."
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
On another day, I saw the American tank sitting out in front of the school. So I went in and said, "Why is the American tank sitting out in front of the school?" And they said, "Oh, it just periodically sits places." Yeah, I don't think so.
And we went home. We didn't go to school that day.
Yeah.
Dad's boss got kidnapped and stuff.
Yeah. He got kidnapped and they kept him for a day. But you can't drive when you were over there, you have to drive a junky car. You can't act like you're a boss or anything because then you're more targeted and stuff. So it's not like he had the great car. They didn't know he was the big boss or he probably would have been worse. But they kept him all day saying they were going to kill him. And then eventually they let him out and they took his car. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
And then you were
happened
like, we
over
have
there.
to leave.
Yeah.
So I think that's the
After
full
the
out
last
aspect of it
bomb,
is you keep saying we
I
have to
said-
leave.
Yeah.
You're full out of here.
Yes.
As a mom. We are full out leaving.
This can't keep going. I can't stay here with these little girls here. And
We also had long blonde hair and blue eyes.
But wasn't the food good?
the food was really good.
It also was really fun.
To go from Scottish English food, which is you don't eat at a Scottish restaurant. You eat at an Italian restaurant or Indian restaurant when you're in Scotland because otherwise the food's not good. And then you go to Colombia, though, and the food is really good.
You mean you don't like haggis?
No. And I also like seasoning to my food.
Blood sausage. What else did they make over there? Century eggs.
When I lived there, we had a not American, it was an international food festival thing. And the Americans had made Mexican food. And the English had their tasters were rabbit stew, possum pie. Just awful. And then the Scots table had whiskey. They just shots of whiskey
funny.
at their table. So, I do believe I've learned a lot living overseas. I'm glad I lived overseas. I'm kind of glad I lived in Alaska, but not for that long. They're all experiences which made me who I am, and then we moved from there to Venezuela after I said I wasn't going to live in And I promised you I'd never take you where bombs were again. The first day we're in Venezuela, we were at the pool and your dad had gone. I didn't even know where his office was. He'd gone on a trip waiting for food, and we heard this big boom, and you wouldn't eat. The food just came. And I'm like, it wasn't a bomb. It wasn't a bomb. Then I hear the sirens, and I'm thinking, oh, damn, it was a bomb. And but Colombia,
And then they're like, but it was just a car bomb. So
well, yeah, because in Colombia, when they did a bomb, it was to kill. Pablo Escobar wanted to kill as many people as he could. He'd do it at a bank on the 15th or somewhere. There'd be a lot of people. In Venezuela at that time, if there was a bomb, they would try to do it where there were no people. It was just more a political statement. Now, someone might accidentally get caught in it, but it was a whole different
it wasn't like intentionally to kill people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
when you're like 6 or 7, it doesn't really matter.
No,
When
it
you're,
doesn't
like,
matter.
hearing the
It
bomb
really
go
doesn't
off.
matter,
Yeah.
period.
It doesn't
You know,
matter.
I'm
I mean,
thinking,
whatever
are you
age
kidding
you are.
me?
Yeah,
It's
a bomb
another
is
bomb,
yeah.
you know? So,
Yeah.
so that was a lot. And, you know, but, you know, the thing about my life, I'm really very blessed because my real dream in life was to have children and be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I got to be a stay-at-home mom, which is what I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't work throughout different
Yeah.
times in my life and kind of work out and be at home and stuff for what we needed and all. But I'm blessed I got to do that.
And when you say work out, you don't mean like you got to go to workout classes. You
No,
mean you got to like
I mean,
work out of the house.
Got to work out of the house
Yes.
to make money for some of the things we wanted
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
And all. But mainly I did get, I mean, y'all are the best things that have ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And having you guys is like, you all took me on a different journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to watch, who are you? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And follow you.
Mm-hmm.
Follow with also guiding and leading, but follow your dreams in your life and experience it with you, which may have taken me on a different journey than I thought I was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which I feel like is the story of your life.
right.
You've
And
been
it
on a very different journey than
continues-
you thought you were going
Yeah.
on always.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And continues to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm blessed to be able to do it. And I get to like, you know, just figure out, I don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, every day is a new thing. I think that I'm going to live this way and this is how it's going to be. And then it's not. And it's like, but it brings brings challenges and greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And when we did leave Venezuela, we moved to Houston, just you, me, and Chelsea.
And 2 cats.
And 2 cats, Sugar and Spice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Mm-hmm.
We went from like having a driver, having like a live-in housekeeper who was like our family kind
Yeah.
of, and then to just being the 3 of us. And it was
Awesome.
awesome. It was like the best memories of my childhood was just being like in this like little apartment, the 3 of us. And I think it, you know,
It was scary. You know, it was really scary for me to do that. But it was so, my insides felt so good. And, you know, I was really happy too. Mhm.
Yeah. And I think that even recently you were like, I don't know, like sometimes I think like, would it have been better for you guys if we didn't? And I'm like, no, like that was the best lesson for me ever to be like, oh, we kind of went from like having everything to having nothing. And we're so happy and like feel so like good here. It's like, it doesn't really matter what you have, where you are. It's like who you're with, what you're, you know, if you feel safe and good in all ways. And so, yeah, I'm just glad you
it
full
teaches
out
you
left.
a lot.
Just like,
Me too. It teaches you that you can be okay in any situation. You don't have to live in something that's not healthy or happy or whatever. And that all those, yes, is it great to have finances and things? Absolutely. But that's not what makes you truly happy. It's the people you live with and how you feel inside yourself. And then you just make it work. You just figure out, how do I make it work? You don't lay down and do nothing. You just like, okay, this is where I am.
yeah.
I got to figure out what I'm going to do now. But, and I went back to college.
Yeah.
Finished my degree because I only had a year left when I married your dad. And then I didn't.
I got to go to your college graduation.
Yeah.
That was
which
cool.
was horrible because it was like, I think everyone left early, but Robert, my husband now, and I think it was like 4 hours long.
I was there for the cool part. So I probably left early.
Right.
But
You
to
left
me, it was cool to see my mom graduate
you,
college.
You left like after I walked. And then this was the word. There were speakers no one ever met before. And we sat there for probably 4 hours. And I didn't even want to go to graduation, but my dad really begged me, I'll pay for all of the graduation. Please, please go graduate. And then he left early.
Oh my gosh. That's such a dad thing to do. Well, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Well,
this
you're
was so nice.
It was really nice.
Is there
enjoyed it.
anything else you want to say? You feel
Well, no, just that I had sent you something yesterday that I saw that I thought was so true, that you were my firstborn, so you taught me to love like I never knew I could love before. And so you were the first one to ever teach me that. And I thought I knew what love was until you were born. And I think that, it's just such a blessing. And to see where you are today and to see where you're going and follow your journey, and you work really hard, and I get to see all what comes out of it. And it's lovely.
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
I love you.
Love you too.
Yay.
So where can we find you? What's your social media
You can
handles?
find me on the lake. In Montgomery,
Are there any
Texas.
spaces in between the and lake, or is it just all one?
I do have ragdoll kittens once in a while because I have one ragdoll cat, and she's about to have kittens. So anyone that wants to buy a kitten, call Brittany.
Canceled in LA for saying that. That's probably the only part we'll have to cut out of the podcast is that my mom is selling kittens. So sorry. I'm getting so much shit for that. But,
Oh wait, I'm rehoming them.
Okay.
Rehoming
found them
for
somewhere.
$500 a piece.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
And if you need to reach her, contact me.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.